All right, welcome back, everybody. Rudy with Oh, there you guys are. I was too tall. Rudy with Alpha Investments. How's everybody doing tonight? A little late video. Kind of a wacky day. So I feel like we have the need to discuss something because after getting, 200 to 300 messages, most of which were just almost like warning me, and the other half were just like, haha, I got you. We can finally get rid of Rudy. We're going to cut him out. Okay. So let me go ahead and discuss what's going on. So for those of you who weren't aware, Wizards of the Coast, the distribution network in Europe, also known as some of the European distributors outside the United States, announced a quote-unquote restock for Japanese War of the Spark and Throne of Eldraine collector's boxes for Europe. So because of that, immediately, this is the pitchfork moment. Did you hear? Rudy just made a video telling people to invest in Throne of Eldraine collector's boxes. We got him! We can finally get rid of him! We can ban him. We can cut him out of the pitchfork community / Ivory Tower. And I said, okay, let me explain what's going on and why I'm actually I'm pretty happy Europe's actually getting an actual, it's not going to be large, but at least they're finally getting a decent amount of Throne collector's boxes in general, because this was an English-only product. It was targeted for the US, and similar to Ultimate Masters and some other products, a lot of the European countries, and actually even the Asian countries, a lot of the other outside the US countries, Canada too, South America, they just don't get the product. It's like they get scraps or leftovers from WotC from the US, and the distributors over there, not only do they get charged all these surcharges and import, export, they just don't really get the good end of the stick, if you know what I mean. So anyways, so the distributors in Europe finally actually sent out a memo today, and I didn't realize I had so many fans in Europe. I really appreciate that. I'd say probably 50 to 70 people in Europe who have either game stores or employees took a screenshot and sent it to me, and they just said, hey, and I'm sure the screenshot's all over social media and the scholars and the Reddits and the Facebooks by now, and for those, I'm sure it's everywhere, but they sent me screenshots saying, hey, distributor said it's official, there's a reprint coming, Rudy was wrong, the prices are going to collapse. So here's the thing. We had two things happen. Number one, we had a good amount of people contacted me saying, Rudy, I heard there's a reprint. I want to sell my position. And I kind of replied to about 10, 15 of these people saying, look, if you are panicked and you don't want to be in because you think it's going to crash the price, I will buy them from you. Rudy, they're going to tank the price and I'm going to lose everything. Look, if you want me to give you $200 a box for collector's boxes and you just want to walk away in Hosetown, USA, look, I'll give you a shipping label. I'll cover your PayPal fees and you can do it. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't recommend doing that. I genuinely believe what is happening is I almost feel like it's almost an excuse or kind of a tilt or a slant to get some weak-handed people who are maybe holding these collector boxes or just anything to really spread some sort of negativity. And I think that's kind of sad because it's just, you're taking a piece of information, taking it out of context, and then trying to push it, and trying to create a panic that, Rudy said it's a good product long term, all these idiots bought it, and these Timmies are getting hosed, and then now it's going to get reprinted, they're all going to tank. First of all, there's no reprint in the United States. U.S. distributors, ask any of the big 5 distributors in the United States. There's no reprint in the U.S. Nothing's changing. I don't know what else to tell everybody, but be very careful when news like this comes out and you try to make a long-term decision or try to get swayed by short-term emotions that start swinging around on the internet. And then because that's kind of the biggest first part. The second part was a lot of people just saying, look, why would you buy these collector boxes? They're overpriced, it's this and that, it's to hose people, they're going to rotate out of standard, the cards aren't going to be worth anything. And you're probably right. Most likely, as with all collector's boxes and standard boxes, they're going to rotate out. The single card prices are going to tank. And the expected value of a collector's box is probably going to go to $100, $150. You're probably right. But anyone who's been around the block long term knows that as products age, the variance, the discrepancy between sealed and single card conversion grows as the years kind of go on. That's normal. That's supposed to happen. Otherwise, arbitrage would take over the market until it corrects itself. So I don't know why that's still such a very, I don't know. It's like people like to take that little piece of information, strip away the context, and use that as leverage to, hey, you need to dump your boxes to Rudy. Or, no, Rudy says buy them all. He's trying to push the market. Well, yeah, full disclosure, I already told everybody. I want to accumulate, between 300 and 500 boxes. I'm at about 330 now. I went up another couple boxes because a couple people just said, I don't care, I want out. And I don't recommend anybody sell it. Nothing is changing. In the United States, which is the biggest market for this stuff, there's no extra supply coming. So, and honestly, Europe's finally getting an extra chunk of supply being reprinted and getting this that they deserve because they didn't really get them in the first place. And that's not going to change anything in the United States. I'm not really sure what people are expecting to happen, but for those of you out there who are looking to buy in Europe, this would be a good time for you to buy if you can get kind of those stores to really drop their price and freak out. In the United States, if any of you out there who want the product, if you can find people panic selling, hey, if you want to tell them what's going on or what's not, and give them the full story, which the U.S. distribution has not changed, that's up to you. But the full context is technically, there is no reprint in the U.S. And again, Europe, the prices are so much higher. This distribution costs, the import-export, the taxes, I feel bad for a lot of other countries at this point because the prices are so high outside the United States. And myself and all the other store owners and evil distributors, investors, and collectors, we can't ship, or at least, anyone with a distributor or with a contract or anything. I can't legally ship sealed product out of the United States. There is nothing I can do about it. Number one, it's very expensive because of the shipping and the weight. Number two, it's risky from being opened in customs or lost in the mail or just identity theft, fraud, fake dispute, chargeback. And of course, the biggest of all, if you are buying from a distributor and you have any form of store or own ownership in a store or some sort of brick and mortar, no matter who you are or if you just have a goldfish in a basement, no matter who you are, if you are buying Wizards product from a distributor and you sign that, I sign those forms with all these distributors. And if I ship outside the country or if any other store of the 3,000 stores in the United States, all these people, if we ship outside the country, that's a very quick way to get cut off. You want to authentically be banned? Well, that's an authentic, legitimate way to be banned. And I'm sure if somebody did something like that and they got banned and they complained about it, they would probably try to tilt it in a different light. But the reality is that's kind of how it works, everybody. There's not really much else to say about it. So, like I said, the purpose is I want everyone to realize, be very careful making decisions or using emotion on the internet. This same exact thing happened with tons of things. The conspiracies, the master sets, conspiracies as in the conspiracy booster boxes, even Battle Bond, which I fell for a lot of that because I thought it was garbage and hated the name. It happened with Corset, it happened with Khans at Tarkir, it happened with Eldritch Moon. See, most of you don't even remember that. Eldritch Moon came out, there was a pack mapping issue, supposedly, of where you could find the mythics or the flip cards. And I was even doing a mass box opening back then, and I cut my mass box opening from like 300 booster boxes to like 120 because I started getting nervous about what was going on. And, that was a big mistake. I still regret that to this day. Same thing with Battle for Zendikar. That was a set that I didn't keep, a lot of the booster boxes because of the negativity. Oh, it was the most printed Oblivion set. It's never going to be, it's just garbage fire. Expected values like $30. Expected values like $40. Expected values like $50. It just, you need to be fully informed if you want to play in this kind of playground long term. And it's important for a lot of people out there, whether you like or dislike me, my videos, my Patreon, and my shill for myself, no matter how you look at it, it's just important to understand how the system actually works. So whenever anything, that's why nothing in the U.S. really happened today. That's why there weren't stores in the U.S. saying, hey, we got notification. Like if I got a message today from multiple distributors, emails start moving, phone starts ringing, hey, Wizards announced a reprint of Throne Collector's boxes in the U.S., even though they said they wouldn't, then the video would be completely different. But the fact that's not what's happening, you got to be careful to kind of, gray area and mix it up. Because now the headlines, the amount of messages, and some of the messages that I get are just, Rudy, I can't believe you just made a video telling people about collector's boxes, and then immediately there was a reprint in Europe. You must have known. You got me. I took my 15 private jets, my 17 hamsters, 3 gerbils, and a guinea pig. We fly out overnight. We do red-eye flights where nobody sees us, and I just got back from Europe, and I got the memo. I don't know what people think. It's kind of humorous because some of the stories are so good. I'm not as creative as a lot of people can come up with. But, that's the thing. So in the US, nothing really changed. There's no extra product coming. Wizards has not changed their stance that there's no more, they're not reprinting Throne collector's boxes or any collector's box in general, even on future sets. It's released at the beginning alongside parallel with the standard booster box during the allocation period. I still firmly believe that long term, and just like Commander 2018, which is now selling 140 to 150, already up like 20% in less than a year. Just like Commander 2018 when I made the video, I'm going to make more of it. The Throne collector's boxes. I know people don't like it. They're overpriced. I get it. But I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to continue to build my personal position. And eventually, if I can get over that quantity I need, I'll sell some. I can put some online. Or I can just keep it. It depends on how the quantity I can get to. I don't know if I can get to 500 plus. I'm having a hard time even getting even further where I am. But just be aware, long term, it doesn't really matter what the standard card prices do. It doesn't matter what the short-term hype, the positive, the negativity that swirls around that people try to influence on these message boards, these anonymous people. Like I said, I just like to remind everybody, a lot of the people you may take advice from, they're not actually investing, they're not holding, they're not actually putting the money down. I'm here to tell you that's up to the individual. It's up to you if you're in a situation in your life where you have certain things in place, you have a stable life, you're ready to take your other stocks, bonds, real estate, and you're ready to add magic to it. If you're in that place, magic is a great addition to any portfolio long term. It has a proven track record. It's got ups and downs like everything, but it's a great component to that big portfolio. And you cannot, just like Wall Street, you cannot let the short-term news in the fear of the next 2008 recession. Oh, the politics are crazy. Oh, Rudy, there's fear everywhere. You cannot let your life be dictated by market noise. And that's very important, everybody. So I hope you guys learned something today. So just to recap summary, yes, Europe is getting a small reprint of collector's boxes, so they're finally going to get some decent boxes. No, this is not going to have any impact in the United States. 3, yes, the standard cards at rotation in collector's boxes will tank, as every standard cards do, and it will tank the expected value. 4, it doesn't matter if that happens because nobody cares. I mean, so what? A box of Hour of Devastation and Amon Ket has an expected value of what, 30 bucks? Kaladesh has an expected value of what, 40? It doesn't matter. That's not how the system works long term. You go all the way back to a box of Urza Saga for $3,000 to $5,000, $10,000, whatever the price is today. The expected value is what, a couple $100? It doesn't matter. And that's a very tough thing to understand of how the system works when you deal with this product on the long term. And yeah, so that's all I have today. I just hope you guys can kind of understand, think about it. And for those of you out there, make your own decision. Don't let someone like me in a basement filled with tacos make the decision for you. Make sure you guys know what you want to do and you're comfortable with the risk you take. Other than that, have a great night.